Alright, here's something I've been working on for quite a while. Water batteries. Kind of interesting because what I'm doing with the water batteries, I'm actually showing that you can electrolyze water. This is kind of interesting because these batteries all hooked up in series, and there's 10 of them in series and another 10 behind it, so I've got them hooked up in parallel. I have a total of 20 altogether, but 10 and 10 hooked up in parallel, which increases my current. When they start out, they're right around 8 volts, so they're drawing about 800 millivolts apiece. And under the load of actually electrolyzing, it drops down to about 3.03 volts. And as you can see, I'm electrolyzing and I'm producing hydrogen at actually a pretty robust rate. This will run literally for days and days and days. I've had it running for as long as a week. And the only thing I have to exchange is the water, I'd say about once every 3 to 4 days. The cells themselves are PVC plastic with a cap on the bottom, approximately 6.5 inches high. My anode are 3 copper tubings, about 6 inches. I mean my cathode, 3 copper tubes. My anode is a zinc plated. And I've got the anodes connected, or I've got the cathodes connected with some zip ties across the, I think you can probably see them across the bottom and the top. And again, they're hooked up in parallel. So I'm producing about 3 volts, but what's interesting, that's at about 1 1/4 amps. So very, very low power, very low power. 3 volts at about 1 1/4 amps. So, excuse me, 1 1/4 milliamps. I'm sorry, not 1 1/4 amps, 1 1/4 milliamps. Well, very, very low power. And this will run and produce hydrogen. See, I have very, very little, if you can even see it, oxygen coming off my cathode. And this will run for literally days and days at a time. The longest I've had one running is about 2 weeks. The voltage will drop, and it will drop very, very slowly, 2 to 3 millivolts per hour. So after about 3 to 4 days, I'm down maybe 4 or 5%, well within the range of still producing hydrogen. So using water batteries, that the only thing I have to replace on them is water. I have no electrolyzer in this, it's just regular tap water. I do have an electrolyzer in this unit. I'm using just standard baking soda. This is about, the electrolyzer is about 6 inches high, and my cathode and my anode are stainless steel, non-corrosive. And as you can see, I'm producing hydrogen, and it will produce hydrogen hour after hour, day after day, day after day, with me only having to replace water. Now, I noticed after about 2 to 3 weeks, I was getting a little bit of rust buildup on the anodes, and so I kind of solved that problem by coating them with conductive grease, and that solved the problem. It's eliminated the rust, and at the same time, they're working just fine. I don't seem to be having any problem with my cathodes at all. Again, using electrolyzing, using water, just regular tap water. I only have to replace that, and I can keep this going pretty much indefinitely. I can produce hydrogen 24/7. Area, not area specific. It can operate anywhere. So you see I'm down to about 3.02 volts now. I was 3.03, so I've dropped about 10 milliamps. It drops faster at the start. When it gets down to about, I'd say about 2.85, 2.87, it really starts to level off. It does not drop off linear. It drops off, it almost flattens out. So I can produce hydrogen. Who knows? I'm going to run this to see how far I can go, and I'm going to actually see if possibly there's a point where the batteries are producing enough to equal the drain. But under any circumstance, all I need to do is replace the water. Again, around 3 volts at a little over 1 milliamp. So very, very little power to do this. And I hope the hydrogen, you can see that. It's quite robust, and it will just continue hour after hour after hour, day after day, 24/7. I'm down to about 35 seconds here, so I'll just leave this on here for the next 30 seconds so you can see the hydrogen production. We'll just let it run out. Hour after hour, day after day, 24/7, just by replacing water. This is about my 20th variation of this whole system to get it to do exactly what I want.